here to meet us children, and the children also come running from different parts of Bharat and overseas foreign lands. And so we come to meet this sweet Father and to fill ourselves with worthiness, because all of you are those who live in their own households with your families. So how does your mind remain in the household? Because problems are just growing, and in business, in households, and in the midst of community, many situations arise. And in these situations, one's mind can stumble and can't stabilize in the Father's remembrance. So the chance Baba has given us here in Shantivan is a golden chance, so that we are able to keep our mind, our subconscious, very peaceful, very quiet. The things that belong outside, let them remain outside of the gate. They shouldn't come in here. It can be situations of your household, your neighbors, your friends, whatever, relations. Baba says, leave it all outside. Don't think about those things whilst you're here. What do you want to do while you're here? All of your life you have thought about others. All of your life you've thought about situations. A situation comes in front of you and you immediately start thinking about it. And because of that, your subconscious also becomes peaceless. Some situation comes in front of you and your heart becomes upset, and people ask, well, what's happened to you? And they say, oh, some past memory came to mind. Somebody didn't interact with me properly, or I didn't interact with somebody properly, and that comes to your mind. So then the mind becomes a little bit peaceless. Now Shantivan is teaching us that throw outside all the things that are of peacelessness and imbibe peace. Throughout the year here there is the shower of knowledge. There are 3 or 4 classes through the day, and a variety of brothers and sisters who are very experienced. They give class, and your apron will be full. So it's not just a matter of filling your aprons, but at the time of listening, what else must we do? We must churn. You hear knowledge and then think about it and churn it, and you want to make it your own. You want it to enter into your life, and that's beneficial. When you listen to knowledge, you want it to be part of your life. If knowledge is used, then it will go into the subconscious mind. And knowledge is so wonderful. It's given by God the Father himself for his own children. So how do we want to live in the world? Look at the one who is teaching us, the master, the creator of the whole of this drama. He is the creator, he is also the sustainer, and he is the one who brings destruction of the old world. Such the highest authority daily sits and teaches us. So whose Murli do we listen to? Shiv Baba's Murli. To this day, the Murli we listen to is Shiv Baba's Murli, and we've been hearing it. We're listening to the revised course, that is knowledge given through the body of Brahma, through the mouth of Brahma. And our aim is to make our life according to this knowledge. The real Gita is not tiny, it's a very big scripture, and the essence of the Murli is in front of us. We listen to the Murli daily. We are Baba's children, and in our practical life, in ourselves, we want to bring transformation. Until we have brought transformation in our lives, to change from an impure soul to a Brahmin is huge transformation. And then from Brahmin we want to change to deities. But after becoming Brahmins, what is it we want to do? Then we want to do service. After becoming Brahmins, we want to do service. Now what service would we do? What is the business of Brahmins? It was in today's Murli also that Brahmins take a book and speak from that, and that's what Lokik Brahmins may do, but Baba has given us the knowledge and filled our aprons with knowledge. So the knowledge Baba has given us is for us to use. So knowledge is very, very valuable, yet it's easy. And this is why Baba has called us to Shantivan, that together with meeting Baba, celebrating a meeting with Baba, let us also experience this knowledge here. Churn this knowledge, because in this class there are very many new people, and yet I would like to ask you for a show of hands, those who have come to Baba's house for the very first time. Please raise your hands. Okay. So those who have come for the first time, second or even third time, then what happens? You're living in your city, your town, and you're in connection with your center. Some people's center is far away or their home is far away, and the things you listen to, and you don't have time then when you come back home to churn. You're thinking about cooking and the children, and they're coming and going, and you're lost in this kind of thing all day. But you come here to Baba's house, you've left everything else behind. Here you begin to experience everything that you listen to because of your deep love and interest. And you go and sit in Baba's room, and you want to experience that. Today I want to experience this thing, tomorrow I want to experience this thing. And so Shantivan is the mine of experiences, and in all directions there is nothing but peace. It's like being immersed into an ocean of peace. There are no other shops or houses or anything else around us. And so here you can really accumulate the power of peace. And for this, it's very essential to have introversion. We need to have silence of the mind as well as through the mouth. We see so many have come, and you talk about who's come from where, and you talk about your center and your students and your teachers, and so this sort of atmosphere existed back at home as well. So what's the benefit of coming here? What's the benefit of meeting Baba? So there has to be some deep, deep benefit so that we become worthy of the Father's blessings. That's the kind of work we have to do at this confluence age, so that our final birth of our 84 births becomes used in the best way. In this birth we receive sustenance from the Father, we receive study from Him, and with that sustenance and with this study we can have very good experiences. All the Srimad that we receive, Baba's elevated directions, as we follow that, we change completely. Yesterday we were ordinary human beings, today we become deities. Living in the world, there are so many other kinds of conversation because there's no knowledge, and so there's other kinds of influences. But now we are not householders. We are God's children, so we've become trustees, and we are detached from our home. Even this body is not our own. Even this wealth is not my own. I didn't come with it, and it's not going to go with me. That's guaranteed, because we didn't bring it from up there. It's not our original property. We earned it here and we'll lose it here. A person dies, and big kings die, and they say, leave our hands open so everyone can see that we can't take our kingdom with us, so that people can learn from us. And the things of attachment, all of that remains here. We didn't come with those things. They're here for our use for a temporary time. All of these things are for temporary use, but it's not my property. Use it, take the benefit of it, and then let it go. We should be able to let it go with our intellect. If we have attachment to anything, then it's going to cause us sorrow. And attraction of any kind is also something that causes us sorrow in the end. And then there can be conflict of sanskars. Sometimes our sanskars can come into conflict with the sanskars of others. Now we want to be safe from this. If we have attachment or attraction to anyone, then that person keeps coming in front of us. We have to check ourselves that where does my intellect go through the whole day? I, who has surrendered, and I know that nothing is mine, only service and nothing else but service. So we have to check ourselves at Amrit Vela, that what comes to my mind again and again through the whole day, the things that come to my mind again and again, I have to finish that, end it. My subconscious should be completely clean and peaceful, because we've come from Shanti Dham, the land of peace. We're the children of the ocean of peace. So if we want to live in this world, let us live in peace. Nothing that causes peacelessness should come inside of me. If it does enter, then I have to throw it out. It should not stay with me. There can be a pull of the senses, some desires, and those desires will torment you. These days people think, oh, very good sandals that sisters are wearing, or men wearing very nice shoes, or women wearing very nice saris, and they see one another and they say, well, she's wearing a nice sari, I should have one like that too. And so such a thought arises that I want to wear a sari like that, and then you make effort to get it. You say or do things so that you can possess that thing, and until you get it, you'll be thinking about it. So this is something perishable, and my thoughts are so valuable. If even one thought is wasted, it's not going to come back. That moment won't come back. In this way, so much breath is lost, and we say this is in the account of waste. Thoughts are wasted and breath is wasted. And of course, actions will automatically be wasteful then. So, Confluence Age teaches us to finish our account of waste and increase our account of powerful thoughts, words and actions. How can we do that? Through knowledge. Knowledge enables us to accumulate power. And then look at everybody's virtues so that you see these are this one's virtues, this one's virtues. It's not my task to be looking at defects or weaknesses. If I think about somebody else's weaknesses, then it's my own subconscious mind that will be spoiled. If I'm looking at somebody's weaknesses, then that's what's going to be in my thoughts and in my awareness. And when that person comes in front of you, their weakness will come in front of you. How can we come close to one another if we're only seeing weaknesses and defects, if we're not able to see their virtues? So how can we have love for one another? Even if somebody makes a mistake, yes, they're Baba's children. Whilst moving along, if they come under the influence of Maya, then they realize it, and then they think, I'm not going to do this again. Okay, the mistake has happened, they've realized it, and then they will say to Baba, Baba, I won't make this mistake again. And so then be improvement. And what do seniors do? If somebody has understood, realized something, and they've asked for forgiveness, then they have the good wishes that they will move forward. This age of confluence age is for us to reform and to move forward. There's no other such age. From golden age we start to come down, and then we come into the silver age. And then from silver age we come into the copper age. And then iron age. And iron age, the dark age, where our sanskars also become dark, and the words we speak are also impure, and there's nothing but vision that is seeing negativity and wasteful things. And there's so much peacelessness. There may be children in the household, husband, and your task is to take care of the family and remember Baba and feed the family, just to eat whatever God feeds me with love. Baba says, even if you only receive dal and roti, then be grateful that you received that. So what do the poor do? They eat just chapatis and a little bit of chutney that goes with it, and that's it, that's enough. And here so much people receive so much to eat, and yet they're not satisfied, and we're looking at what others are doing and seeing and thinking. And so Baba says, be totally ignorant of desires. Baba makes us belong to him, and then he teaches us not to see others. And so Baba also taught us to dress in very simple clothes, and that even we shouldn't make our own clothes, somebody else makes them for us, and to eat less if that's what suits you, but eat very simple food, and that food from Shiv Baba's Bhandara is something that will nourish us, stay in Baba's remembrance, and accept Brahma Bhojan with love. When we sit in remembrance of Baba for 2 minutes, we remember Baba, and then afterwards it's like we remember something else and something else and something else, and we are entertained by all these other thoughts, and then there's no accumulation in our account. This confluence age is for accumulation. It's not about ending what we've accumulated, but the more we accumulate, the sooner we will go to Baba. And at the time of going to Baba, there won't be any difficulty. Check where your intellect is dangling from. All the sisters living in the household, see where is your intellect, because what's going to come to your mind at the end, it's those things that we are thinking about now. So if you see where your intellect is going, then remove your intellect from that. Because if your mind is attached to family, friends, then remember you came alone and you're going to return alone. And so no need to be thinking about others. So think, how can you live in this world and be detached also, so that your actions are also elevated, your speech is elevated, and your interactions are elevated. Human beings become peaceful when everything of yours is right, it's good. Don't think bad about anyone. Don't allow your mind to think anything bad. Those who think bad can do so, but you don't have to be like them. Those who think badly, they are doing it for themselves. I don't have to engage in that. Baba has kept us children in his company and has taught us a great deal. Those who defame you, Baba says, his actions were never like that. His quality was so elevated. Even in his Lokik life he was so elevated, and in the spiritual life he became the father of humanity. His actions were never ordinary, but people didn't know him, and so when they saw many different things before about Brahma Baba and they liked him, but then after his spiritual life began, then they started to defame him, insult him, and Baba said, no children, it's not their fault, it's their drama. And the children felt that if Baba is being insulted because of us, then the children really felt it, and Baba would say it's not their fault. And Baba would smile, it's not their, we can't blame them because they don't know. They don't know who your father is, what he does. And so the fact that they don't know means they are agyani, they're not knowledgeable, not knowledgeful. So in a second, Baba would say, look, if Baba is not concerned, then why are you concerned? Baba said that those who are defaming Baba will themselves be the ones who will shower Baba with flowers, because when they recognize him, then they will repent and they will feel that who was it that they were insulting. Now that time has come when people are recognizing Baba. Those people who defame Baba, they deeply repent now that they didn't recognize what power Baba had and who he is and who is doing this enormous task. People see the sisters and the mothers and they think there's no guru here, but what are these mothers and sisters doing? But when they themselves started to use knowledge, then they realized that, oh, this is a university and this is a study. Those who study daily, they have very good transformation in their lives, and their yoga is also good, and their mind is pulled to yoga and pulled to Amrit Vela. I see foreign sisters and the speciality of foreign lands that they come into full downfall because they have complete freedom, but when they become Baba's children, they become very accurate. They walk along this path very accurately. Accurate in yoga, accurate in listening to knowledge, accurate in churning knowledge, accurate in serving others, and so very different. They feel that they've lost a lot of time, and now it's their time to use their time in a good way. So this is true about the majority. So foreign sisters in foreign lands, they themselves of their own will start centers, and then they'll have teachers who come and visit them and they'll keep connection with them, but they themselves will run centers. And because of their good dharana, then others are very impressed by their dharana, and they're attracted by their dharana, and they see that how they were before and how the sisters have transformed. In Delhi there was a mother, and one household where it's constant quarrels between the mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law, and where the Baba's children were living, they were sharing the wall of one house, and they could see and hear that there was constant conflict there. And so we used to think, oh, but she shouldn't have said that, the other one shouldn't have said that, and so we were thinking in this way. And so sometimes the mother would come to visit us, sometimes the mother-in-law would come to visit us, and we would think, well, why are we wasting our time in what those two are doing? So it's like every day's rubbish would be filled in us because of what they related. So it was their own house, and one of them said, I want to leave this house and leave this area, and I should buy a house in a nice area. So what is meant by nice? Nice means how that the neighbors are good, the neighborhood is good. That if you are good, everybody will be good with you. then whatever kind of neighborhood you go into, if you don't get involved in the things of the neighborhood, then everybody will be good with you. Today there's so much conflict and fighting and all of this in the world, but not to get involved in other people's business and their quarrels. Yes, there will be situations that will come, but we ourselves have to reform ourselves. Nothing impure should touch us internally, because if we accumulate negativity from outside, it's like our own pussy cat will be saying meow meow to yourself. And so we will accumulate thoughts of spreading peacelessness. We'll be listening to interesting things that are bad things, and will be creating peacelessness for ourselves. And then after that we'll be sitting down for evening yoga or early morning yoga. But what will happen to all the waste that you accumulated through the day? Will that be destroyed internally? It can't be, because you've collected it. And our yoga has not finished. And before you finish your yoga, you've accumulated more waste. So what attention do we have to keep through the day? That we don't want to have thoughts of others, nor do I want to listen to things about others. We've come to Shantivan in order to accumulate the power of peace and accumulate power from Baba. We will receive our inheritance from Baba when we become worthy of blessings. When can we receive blessings? Who receives blessings? In today's world, very few daughter-in-laws receive blessings. We can receive blessings from our elders and seniors when we do very good work. Nowadays, women go to work and come back home and tired. If the mother-in-law says, I've been waiting for you to come home. Now, if you make tea, make 2 cups, one for me and one for you. And so the daughter-in-law would get angry, thinking that I've been working all day, and could she not have made tea by herself? And she was a sensible girl, and she started saying, I don't get on with my mother-in-law. And she said, I love my husband. He goes to work in an office, and I also work in an office, but when he comes back from the office, he will receive tea, but daughter-in-law will think that instead of mother-in-law making tea for herself all on her own, it's better that she waits for her daughter-in-law, and then they have tea together. So, Dadi said that to this girl that one day you'll also be a mother-in-law. Will you not want to have a good relationship with your daughter-in-law? Don't you want to have a good atmosphere in your household? Whether it's your mother in your household or whether some neighbors are with you, be able to have peace. Why did you become angry just that you have to make a cup of tea for your mother-in-law? So, such selfishness that earning for oneself and cooking for oneself and eating for oneself and not really having concern for the rest of the family, even slightest concern. She says, but she's waiting for me to come and make tea, but it's okay. Treat her with love and respect, and make the tea for her, and then sit with her and sit next to her and have tea together and remove her tiredness also. See, up till now, she doesn't have any children who you are still young, and keep a servant who can help you. And so Dadi explained to her in this way and made her realize. So then she asked for more time from Dadi and then told her her realizations. She said, Dadi, you explained in such a way that that mother-in-law of mine is like a mother. If I serve her like my mother, I will receive blessings. And so if I don't serve her, I won't receive blessings. So I want to be worthy of blessings. And she said that in just 3 days of being here, I feel transformed. And now when I go back, I will serve my mother-in-law with love from the heart. And when people will see her transformation and start thinking, where did she learn this from? Which place taught her this? And so whatever is the truth is going to come in front of you. So even the things of falsehood will come in front of you. Even if you try to suppress things, sometime or other those things will emerge. So these are also sanskars. If we have good sanskars, if there's this attitude to serve, then automatically others will also be benefit, and they'll be served and they'll be happy. So to serve means to eat this sweet fruit, and that fruit is blessings. This fruit is such that if you eat it, you become healthy. So to receive blessings from your elders, your seniors, it will help you a lot. If there's an accumulation of the stock of happiness and blessings, you'll be very happy. Whether you have wealth or not is immaterial. So the blessings of our elders makes us strong, powerful. In my Lokik life, I had one sister-in-law who was the wife of my brother, and then there was one who was staying in foreign lands, and then there was one whose nature was very good, and she was of a big household, a good household. But you know how sometimes even big household people can become ordinary. But she kept her mother and father very happy through her actions, through her interactions. And when she went and got married and she was in the in-laws' home, she was very good in her interaction with the family there, and they gave her a lot of blessings. And she kept very close attention on herself. And she will never, her in-laws never needed to ask her to do something, but they felt that a deity had come into their home, and the mother-in-law will say about her that this is a deity. She would tell everyone that. But if the daughter-in-law didn't have those virtues of serving, then it means they would not experience the mother-in-law's love. So not just the love of the mother-in-law, but everybody else also. So when she left from here, she left very happily, because she understood, because she felt there was no burden inside, no burden of anyone of the family, and she was worthy of the blessings of the whole family. So interaction has to be very good. All that goes with us. Our behavior, our interaction goes with us. Our actions go with us. Whatever I'm doing, it's accumulating for myself. So it's an incognito machinery. Whatever I'm thinking, I'm doing, it's accumulating. If I think badly, it's going to go with me. If I think well, it's going to go with me. In one there's happiness, and the other there's happiness as well as sorrow, because to come into this world means to increase one's account of accumulation, always to be happy and give happiness to others. So we've received these limbs in order to do service. Serve with our words, speak sweetly, that too does service. I'll tell you the story of one village. The mother-in-law there, she was such that wherever she went in the village, everybody used to turn their face away from her. Her nature was so bitter, so strong, that people didn't want to hear bad words, and so people felt, this old woman, let's keep away from her. One time they decided, okay, we will tolerate her, we'll feed her and just hear her, but not react. Everybody said with love and respect that come to our house and eat with us. And wherever she went, and they used to turn their face away from her. So when she reached there, she didn't feel good vibrations. They invited her, but they didn't feed her with love. And so she defamed them. And they would put 4 rotis on her plate and say, if you want it, you can have it, you know. So they didn't really offer her hospitality with love. And she thought, look at the way they're interacting with me. I'm older than them, but look at the way they're interacting with me. So she was so sensible. Yes, so one lady was so sensible, served this old woman with love. She fed her with a lot of respect. She gave her hot, warm food to eat. And so the mother-in-law gave so many blessings to her. She had a lot of land, she had a lot of assets, and she gave everything to this young woman who gave her love and attention with respect, because she felt that she was looked after with genuine love and respect. And so everybody thought, well, what did this girl do? And she said, I didn't want anything from her, because all I wanted was her blessings, the blessings of our elders. So let us do this kind of work, because she didn't need all this land and wealth and all that. She had all that for her own anyway. So bring those who are peaceless into a state of peace. Don't go into the matters of sorrow. It's not for us to do that, but when somebody is unhappy, make them happy. Make them happy. Make the peaceless souls peaceful. No need to go to weddings and this thing and that thing, that is a waste of your time, but to give peace to others and be peaceful yourself. Om Shanti.